welcome into the PuggoReborn's channel. We are back with another episode for the Serpents. Now this is my official Serpent guide. I have faced these guys hundreds, I mean literally like 100, I want to not hundreds, but at least 100 times I have faced Serpents. I have staged out how to face them or what to do, and not abusing the AI, but figuring out how they tick. And so in this episode, in this video actually, I'm going to be going over everything there is to know about the Serpent, my 3 steps on how to defeat the Serpent, and that goes for each phase of the game: early, mid, late, and ultra late. And then at the very end I'm going to have a video or two on what I'm doing and how to really play it out, so you can get the full gist of it. Now if you're playing on different difficulties, I admit I play mostly on veteran. I do know how beginner is going to work, and I do play expert, just not as much as veteran. And I can tell you that I've faced up to 18 Serpents on expert, so I have gotten to that point, and that was that day, I think it was like 100. So, and ironically I actually did win that fight. I lost one person, but I will go over really what there is to know about the Serpents and how it all goes down. So if you are interested in this, please hit the like, subscribe for more content like this. I have much more to come for other beasts and so on, anything that gets updated. I do a lot of stuff on the channel also. I won't go any farther than that. So without further ado, let's check out the Serpents. Before I completely dive in, I want to give a shout out to Fandom Battle Brothers Wiki page. Just to, I don't know who all does this stuff, but I want to give them a shout out for this information. It's great information to give away. But when we look at the stats for the actual Serpent itself, there's 3 things that stand out to me: the health, the resolve, and finally initiative. Initiative is the biggest thing for the Serpent. This is the thing you need to remember the most, is that they have the initiative from 50 to 100. That means that at any point you're not going to have you're not going to have to worry about them all attacking at once. They have a variety. So if you're within that initiative, higher in initiative, you can actually go ahead of them. Even like a heavier brother at any early, mid, even late game where they're at like 58 can still, if just stationary, can get a chance to get that key blow that saves a brother. So that part's really cool. Now the other thing too is the resolve is so high. You notice that they don't like flee very easily. They're very strong in the mind, at least, to be able to stay on the battlefield. And finally, a lot of health. 130 health is actually quite a bit. When we talk about the pure damage of weapons, I mean, what are you hitting it with? What real damage are you doing? So it's going to take a little bit to kill these Serpents in the first place, and that's obviously a big problem. I find that like bleed weapons and consistent hitting on, like bashing on them, like 3-headed flails, have been really effective. But what does it entail in terms of their long-term abilities? Well, number one, they have Pathfinder. So their movement at 9 AP, they still can move across the sands without blowing their fatigue, and on rough terrain, being able to catch their victims. On top of that, they have Relentless, which means that they're only losing half of their initiative, not the full amount. So really, if they have 100 initiative, they only drop as far as 50. That's quite amazing. But yeah, it just depends on where they line up on the initiative board, which isn't the end of the world, in my opinion, on Serpents. But yeah, it still matters at least. Then the big one, a lot of people don't know this, but Backstabber. Serpents have Backstabber. This is the whole reason, and I'm going to explain this in the actual combat itself, and to give you guys the best idea of how they move, and or how they want to pull you, and why they pull you into certain spots. You might say, well, they're getting a surround. It's not just the surround. It has more to do with what Serpents are around them in terms of getting that full bonus. And I've seen this before, because I've seen gaps where it's like, why didn't they pull me into this spot? But honestly, what they had already set up for my brother in terms of surrounding him, with quotations, they didn't have any reason to pull my brother, but in fact used another Serpent to focus on, to leave and focus on another brother. So it's a very interesting concept. We'll be able to go over that in a bit. And of course, this dragging ability. So let's go down and go over what these guys come with. So first off, they actually have pretty good defense with this 25 range defense, but they have a bonus against the handgun. So the handgun itself is they take 30% less damage for handguns. The ignite ability, let's see here, and ignite ability, of course. The Serpent has plus 15 initiative towards the turn order if there are enemies in the zone as well. So there's another thing there. So they get a boost to their initiative just being in contact with you. This can be very important, especially with a brother who's in dire need of help, of course. So they pull somebody in, they have this stagger effect, which I'm going to go over right now. So we have ourselves drag. And what that pretty much entails is that as long as they're 3 tiles away from a brother, they can pull them. Now, it takes 6 AP to do so. So they can move once, and then I think they can move up to 2 tiles. Or 1 tile. 1, 2 tiles. So they move up to 2 tiles. They can pull a brother from 3 tiles away using the rest of their 6 AP. Sometimes they'll just sit there and it's only 1 tile, excuse me. So they move 1 tile and then they're able to pull you from 3 tiles away. And this is a strategy that you can use for you, but when they pull you, they cause a stagger effect. Now, if we go to stagger effect, just so for people that aren't aware of it, stagger effect instantly affects your initiative. It takes it down 50%. Now, where this is this is very dangerous is because now you're lower on the turn order, for one. And on top of that, these are the things that stagger affects. So first off, if you're shield wall, like you run up to Serpents and you shield wall, immediately if somebody pulls that brother, they lose their shield wall. If you're spear walling because you think that Serpents will come after you, no, they're going to pull you and you immediately lose your spear wall. If you're riposting, you're running in there and you're riposting, and they pull you, you lose that. You lose your riposte. It's a big problem. This is the thing that kills so many brothers. Drag is such a very, very strong ability, pulling you into the most dangerous spots. Now, I can tell you again, though, there is a way to avoid this stuff, and it's a numbers game on how they want to surround you, which we'll go over a little bit later. Now, of course, in terms of the damage, it's 50 to 70 damage in just base damage. So if they're getting into your health purely, it's going to be 50 to 70 on your hit points. However, now this is the thing that's really interesting. In terms of effectiveness against armor, it's 75, and ignoring armor is 30%. That's still a good chunk, and that's why these bites get to be, I don't know, you feel the bites. It's like getting hit by a warbrand almost. It feels like that. Not that these are accurate stats of a warbrand, but still, it's pretty close. Now, in terms of the strengths and going over it, it has a natural body and head armor of 40 each. Can't get injuries that are hands or leg related. They actually edited that out. It shouldn't happen anymore. Used to be that you could have that. I know I had it in one of my videos. Oh yeah, after day 20 they get an extra +5 to melee defense. That's 15. And let's see here, does 15% more direct damage after day 50. Or ignoring armor. So that's 45% ignoring armor. Just incredible. So yeah, they have their strategies here. We can kind of look over that. But if you want to pause it, look over their strategies and stuff, I'll kind of give you my strategy here in a bit. So without further ado, let us go into how to defeat these things. So there's 3 things you need to do in order to defeat Serpents. And please remember this. If you got to write it down, whatever the case may be, but I guarantee this will give you the best advantage. Number 1 is your defense. You need to know who has good defense and who doesn't. When you're at 35 defense, you have you're significantly better off than less. Now that may come off as obvious to some people, but like I like building up to like the 40s. If you can get in the 40s, you're going to be rocking and rolling against these things, even with Backstabber. A lot of times it looks like 35 or 30% chance of striking you in the 40s and so on. So you need to give yourself the best opportunity defensively because of their ability to pull you in a very unfortunate situation. Now, number 2 is attacking. Opportunistic attacks, not just attacking in general. Don't just attack any Serpent. This is the biggest thing. I've watched people stream and I've watched people play the game. They take on Serpents and they're just trying to get through them, just trying to eat through them as fast as possible, trying to affect them. Well, number 1, they have really high morale. So doing that, you're not making a huge jump on making them all waver to run away. Usually you make like 1 or 2 waver while the other ones are are starting to waver. They're already getting close to wavering or whatever. They're not all fleeing at once. So to focus fire is vastly important. Never attack from the inside, attack on the outside and make your way in. As soon as you open a gap, they're going to pull you into that gap and kill you. And the final thing is rotation. Rotation, footwork, underdog. Those are all perks that are going to keep you alive. Battle Forge massively helps you against these guys. Probably the best perk against them in the ultra late or ultra late game. I mean, I could face 25 Serpents and feel comfortable with a late game brother. Now, without further ado, let's check out the combat. Things to understand in particular when we're getting into this combat again is this is gonna bite some of you experts on the butt here, and you're gonna tell me, well, Puggo, you're not facing him in the mountains, you're not facing him in a swamp, you're not facing him in the oasis, you're not, you know, you're at day 169, and look at your brothers, they're all really good brothers now, they're all in the 40s, 30s, you know, they have really good attack, and they're really good at this point in the game, blah blah blah. Okay, here's the deal. This is me playing the game. This is me getting to this point. At day 169, I think it's just as prevalent how you take this on as you would early game. And I do plan on going back, and I will have another video here at day that we have. It's 9 against 7 of them. And I want to show you still how it works with guys that are not that great. The biggest thing, guys, this strategy doesn't matter how good your brothers are. It's not about straight up engagement. It's about giving you the best chance to get into the fight. This whole thing that I'm showing you is how to handle getting into a fight against them and how to dispatch of them at any point in the game, regardless of how good your brothers are. And I will show you that right now. So as you can see, you know, we're lined up. We got our little donkeys back here. And we do have some caravan hands, and I'm going to let them get slaughtered and even give us a disadvantage against 18 of these. Now, it is only 18, and I get it. At day 100 on Expert, I ended up finding 18 Serpents out in the desert, which was really ridiculous. And my advice for people that are playing Expert, because I know that there's going to be that discrepancy as to, how do I do that? You know, like, oh, but, you know, again, you're not doing it this way, whatever. How you're going to handle this on Expert is very simple. Stop trying. Stop trying to take on things that you're not geared up to take on. You need to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. And I know I'm going to get downvotes for saying that because I'm being too aggressive towards the community. But it's the truth. It is literally the truth. You have to pick your battles. I mean, when I play on Expert, I'm not like... yes, I play more cautious and stuff, but I'm not going to wildly go in. I'm not save scumming. You know, that's not how I like playing Battle Brothers, but if you do, that's fine. I'm just saying you need to know when to attack them and when not to. When is it actually efficient? So here's the deal. Now that we're saying goodbye to our caravan hands, what we want to do is we want to wait our whole turn. We started out right here, okay? And we took everybody and we moved them back 2 spaces. Every single person moved back 2 spaces. What this does is during their initiative, it pulls the Serpents where they can't take a close enough step to pull your brothers. They have to go as far as they can, so the next turn order, they're able to do something. Now what we're going to do, however, is we are going to take the advantage. So again, I'm going to keep waiting, and now we're at our wit's end. Now unfortunately, because these guys got pulled off into the distance, the Serpents are all messed up. So I'm going to give you my best representation of how this is supposed to look. All of the Serpents without these bastards back here will run up in a line, and they will literally run up in a line, and maybe there will be one gap in between them, but generally they will run up completely in a line. The reason I'm pulling this footage is because I want you to see how to deal with them even when they're scattered and why it's important to do it a certain way. So we're going to wait. This guy is SOL. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, unfortunately. Like this. I mean, he did something. Okay, we'll just go through. So, the deal here, when I'm doing this, is I am trying to focus fire inward, or outwards to inwards. You do not want to go up to these Serpents. You do not want to go up to the Serpents and just start attacking any Serpent in general. Do not do it. Big mistake. A lot of people make that mistake. I've seen it many times. It just doesn't work. If you're like ultra late game where you can just soak up so much damage, it's not the end of the world. But you want to keep making your way into him. If you attack this serpent and you kill him, he's going to pull one of you. He's going to take an opportunity to pull one of your good brothers into that spot. That's what we want to avoid, obviously. So again, I'm going to wait. This guy's dead. Now these other ones are going to try to move, and there you go. There's a perfect example. He pulls the brothers in. That's perfectly fine. Now we're starting to get the surround, right? Now remember what I told you guys before about rotation is key? Rotation is the way. That's how you win this fight. That's the third step. You're going to take damage. You're going to take hits, and that's perfectly fine. Can I... Okay, he doesn't have the ability. So again, we'll focus on the outside. Now I get it. It's technically the inside, but it's based on the gap. Okay, we're gonna keep eating in. Get closer. Alright, so technically if I could have attacked him, I would have. Okay, outside again. Now, this is where I want you guys to understand. This is a really terrible, at least, spot to be in. You got these guys in a line. You have a brother who's not that great in terms of his defense. And then you have all these serpents. There's an opening here, gaps here. You got these guys. You don't know where they're going to go. They could take one step, pull him over. That's all possible. But what we want to understand is that serpents are less likely to pull you if you're hunkered down by two of them because of that backstabber perk. The AI is set up to take on the brother that is on his lonesome. So I could see Ragnar being a pick to go right here, or I could see Radolf being picked into this 3-corner spot. I like to put my tanks in this 3-corner spot, just like try to get somebody in there. That will seriously make a huge difference. So again, because of the scenario, we want to kill from the outside in. This is a dangerous scenario for this brother, because more than likely he will get pulled, being the defense itself. And then once again, rotation. Rotation saves lives. So we'll keep attacking this outside. Goes to the inside. Now they got this corner. See, he could have pulled it. Why would the serpent run up here when he could have pulled us? Because he saw the 3-way deal there. That's what they want. That's what they look for. Now, obviously, in terms of weapons, let's go over kind of the weapons here. In terms of your weapons, you're getting as much damage on them is very vital, of course. AoEs is fantastic against them because of the surroundings. But yeah, I have sword lances for that reason. They work great against most things anyways. So that's pretty much my reasoning. Now these guys, if you noticed, they waited their turn. Well, why not pull you? Because there's no opportunity. There's no reason to. They want you to kill something so they can pull you in or make the best opportunity to kill you. Now, this is what you don't want to do. And I purposely did that to show you. Do not attack the inside for that reason, because now when they get their opportunity later, there you go. You're talking about more issues. Okay, see how he's just a massive target now? And that is really the main thing where people make the biggest mistake. They always go for what guy is injured. You need to stay consistent. You know, you can kill this guy. That's one less person to worry about. We have an issue with this inside. Now, this is a scenario where when you get like a setup of 3, you can attack the middle one because there's no support in the back to pull you in. So that's no problem. Keeping that guy alive. So technically, I'm going to move in, go for the AoE, try to soften him up a little bit. Rotation. Once again, I preach rotation all the time. There's no reason for him to be pulled. So because there's no support, yes, there's this serpent here, but he'll move up, holding us in. What I want to do is I want to hunker down this area. I want them to feel safe. I want them to feel comfortable. And again, we'll just pick and choose our fights. Take the outside guys. Now that he's injured, I could have gotten a kill there, so that would have been wise. So that was interesting. They actually did pull him in. Usually this is not a scenario to pull him in. This serpent would have pulled him out. But the AI said nope. That actually works still to our advantage. He's a good brother. Hakon's got some good defense, so I'm not worried about it. But again, rotation is where this is when these odd occurrences happen. That's where you want rotation. Okay. We'll continue with the AoE. Get a chance to kill both of them. Kind of move out a little bit here. Dead. And just about dead. Nope. None of these guys are going to be able to attack. Let them attack somebody. And, oh, still not dead. I was hoping it'd be done. Alright. No, that's fine. We'll wait. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that did help. Now, that was a big sample size, and we did take some damage, of course. One of them, like I said, I want to show you. I don't know why I'm taking all that, but I wanted to show you that. This is the biggest, these are big things. Now, again, it doesn't matter where you're at in the game. Take 2 steps back. Wait until the serpents move as close as possible. Do not attack them. Do not go after them. Let them get as close as possible on that second turn. And at the very end of the second turn, then you jump in to attack. Attack from the outside in. Look for the spots of opportunity where there's a gap with the serpents because they'll pull you, as you saw there. Now let's do another one here. I got one more that I want to show you, and then we'll kind of go from there. Alright, so this next one's going to be at day 57. I have pretty decent brothers, but I ended up cutting down my roster size to 7. So it's going to be 7v7 on this fight. Now again, I understand that I'm not facing 18 of them or 12 of them or any of that, but I'm purposely doing it this way. I know when I want to face them or not. It doesn't matter if it's expert or if it's beginner. You need to make the right choices when it comes to this combat in general. Having your brothers back 2 spaces, as I'm going to show you here in the beginning, is very important, and following those 3 steps will help you give you the best opportunity to win the fight. So let's do just that. So as you saw in the last clip, what we did was we tried getting back as far as we can, at least 2 spaces, and we're going to do that same thing now. And this forces them to come as close as serpently possible. I almost said humanly. But yeah, that's how we're going to do this. Okay. Now you're going to see, turn done, axe in 9 turns. So we're just, because they have the advantage to run up, we're just going to wait. Just going to wait. Wait all the way through your turn. Now, if nothing else can be done, you can look here. Their turn is done. We got 1 serpent that has to attack. So we want to attack from the outside in. Don't attack just any random person, any random serpent. You need to continuously stay consistent on the serpents themselves. So as you can see, we did that. Now this is a brother that I'm going to put into the fray a little bit, but I'm going to do it in the way that is defense first, okay? And again, that's the number 1 key to this, is to stay defense first, figure out what they're gonna do, and then you can be really aggressive. So again, we have them curled up on the side here. They're gonna pull someone, okay? That's actually a good pull for us with Henrik. All right, so now we need to get move on them. Yep. Again, I'll continue on this outside. Now, this is still a scenario right here where we want to be careful, because as you can see, I don't know why it's so, that was weird. Did you see that? It kept saying the serpent was right here. But no, he's already injured. The serpent's already injured. We haven't taken any damage. And right now our defense is at 29, which is still suspect. So I'm going to take one shot, try, and I'm just going to shield wall. Now this is a brother who has good defense, and this brother does not have the greatest defense at the moment. He does now, of course, that I shield walled, plus 20. So we definitely needed that. I could take a strike. I'm going to just play it safe. The main thing is we have to get out of this. Okay. See, that could have been pretty ugly. But again, keep staying on the outsides. This serpent's about to get it, so we're going to move in. There's no reason to stay here when we can get their attention and curl them into the middle. Okay, there's another one down. We just keep closing in on him. And being that he's so injured, now we'll continue. Continue the course. Just gonna shield wall. No real reason to go crazy here. Let them do their thing. Alright, now I can start focusing on this serpent in particular. And that one. Now, in this case, too, I would use a brother to pull him out of here. Him being in there for this long is pretty rough. I could have tried to knock him out as well, but I ventured against it. Now, can we kill him? We don't have enough firepower to kill him. Best chance would be 54. We're not taking. Let's just defend for now. Ooh, that was close. So again, this is a scenario where I would have tried to just get him out of here, and it wasn't worth it. Honestly, on my part, I had thought about it, but I was like, we're getting too close. This is why your defense is so important in understanding when to move, when to hold them, when to fold them. It's all that in one. There's a lot to this fight that does that. And this actually was, honestly, in my humble opinion, I don't know why I took all that loot, was actually a poor example at the end of the day. So let's make it a little more tough. Okay, let's go with 5 versus 7. All right. So again, the strategy is we're gonna back up, let them come to us. Okay. Defense first. Outside to inside in terms of the damage. Wait the whole time. This is actually, where's the other one? There he is. I was about to say, what the heck? Alright, so here's what we can kind of do. This is actually pretty nice. The way that they set up actually makes it easier for us because we can kill these two first, leaving a line. And that's what I want to do to start. So I'm going to move in. I'm going to give him the opportunity here. We're going to focus fire on these two. Okay. Definitely the better choice here. Alright, so let's see how they pull us, or if they decide to move in. I'm surprised. Good defense. I mean, Ragnar was in a bit of a situation at 40, but again, I trust him. Okay. Dead. And now I'm going to wait and see if they pull. No, he's going to walk right in. There we go. Okay. So Ragnar being attacked, literally 35, and that's because defense wins. Okay, that was a good jump. That was a good pull. So there's your opening. So what do we want to do? Who would you attack here? Well, here's what I know. Ragnar is our best brother. So I'm going to let him stick into the fray here. We're going to just eat this guy alive. And then when we're done, there we go. See what I mean? What are the odds here? 30. So there's a little RNG going on here with 30. Yeah, so pretty much at this point, Ragnar is going to... Let's do a rotation. No. Oh, wait. So now one thing I want to do is I really want to dispatch of... I want to get Henrik out of here. So I'm going to defend and attack. I think Ragnar... Let's just wait a second here. Oh boy. Okay. So I messed that up. So I thought that I didn't know if he had rotation. I should have moved Hilmar up. That's fine. He might actually go after. No, he didn't. So you might chop this up to somewhat of luck. I can totally admit that. I should have pulled him out. But that's the thing. It's all about that's that third step that easily gets displaced. Is when to actually attack. Okay, again, lower chance. That's what you're gonna deal with every single time. Alright, you just chill. Take one shot and there we go. Run him down. I'm dead. Alright, so that should show you. Unfortunately, I wasn't as flawless as I was hoping I'd be. But a lot of that reason is because I should have rotated. I could have lost a brother easily. RNG comes for everybody. But nonetheless, I hope that shows you guys. We had the first strike to run in and kill at least 2 serpents. That dropped them down to 5v5. And at that point, you have to make a decision if you feel you're able to take on guys with what you're pretty much what you have available. So I hope this helps you guys. This is one that I've been working on for a while. I can probably do more videos and stuff and put them out there to show more ways to take on serpents. But that's as good as it gets. Simply put, please hit the like, subscribe for more content like this. It helps the channel, letting people know that this is out there. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!